The 2023 draft was filled with NHL-ready talent, but if you were a team that competed in the Bedard sweepstakes and lost, you shouldn't feel sorry because this year's draft has a hidden gem of its own. Let's talk about the potential of this year's first overall pick and a few teams that could be in the running if their season continues to go poorly. Like last season, it pays to be a bottom of the league team, and this year will be a huge payout for whatever team ultimately gets the first overall pick. Meet the Boston University sensation Macklin-Celebrini, the NCAA superstar that could be the next NHL franchise player. Right now, Celebrini is on pace to match Adam Fantilli's incredible freshman season at Michigan and continues to dominate in the NCAA. He is a favorite to win the Hobey Baker Award and continues to progress his game through his college career. While the hype is nowhere near Bedard, Celebrini is still a very talented hockey player that will be at the top of his draft class. So let's discuss teams that could potentially land this young prospect. For starters is the San Jose Sharks. Last season, the Sharks were a lottery team and landed themselves the 4th overall pick in the draft, where they selected Boston College's own Will Smith. Now, Will Smith is yet to play in a regular season game for the Sharks and continues to compete for a national title with the Boston College Eagles. With the Sharks entering a full rebuild and currently sitting with a record of 4-15-2, I think it's safe to say that they will most likely land the first overall pick this year if their season continues on this path. Another lottery team that could be at the bottom of the league yet again is the Columbus Blue Jackets. While the Jackets do have a better roster than the Sharks, they still need a bit more time in their rebuild before becoming a competitive team. Clearly something is wrong in Columbus, and while the Jackets did just draft their new center Adam Fantilli, it still seems like they are going to be in contention for the first overall pick yet again with a record of 6-12-4. The Jackets already have one of the best prospect pools in the NHL, and if they grab Celebrini as well, then their future is going to be very, very bright. This next team could be a very surprising team that might be in contention for the first overall pick, and that's the Minnesota Wild. The Wild were considered a lock for the playoffs ahead of this season, but currently they sit with a record of 5-10-4 to start the season. The Wild's slow start doesn't seem to be getting any better, and if they continue with this slump, we could see them drafting first overall and potentially getting Celebrini. Now, this last one is a stretch because I expect this team to get back into the playoffs, but the Edmonton Oilers season has been a roller coaster to start the year. Their record is currently 7-12-1, which leaves them in 29th place across the league. Now, the Oilers' poor start to the season may just be a fluke, but if they are unable to turn things around, we could see them picking at the top spot of this year's draft yet again. While it is possible, I don't believe the Oilers would even want to select a player like Celebrini because it doesn't really address their needs for the current team. If the Oilers continue to be a bottom-dwelling team, they could potentially trade their high draft pick to get a high-caliber defenseman or a goalie, which could really benefit the club right now. But even though it's a stretch, the Oilers could potentially get a top spot in the draft this year. But what do you guys think? Are you familiar with Macklin-Celebrini's game, and do you think he's going to go first overall this year? And which team do you think will get the number 1 overall pick and potentially select him? Make sure you comment your thoughts below, like this video, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.